Hey everyone, and welcome to NTI Days 16 through 20. So it's our second week back since spring break. Today, what we're going to be looking at is how to find the volume of cones. So, just a refresher, last week you were supposed to turn in your exit slip and your IXLs on finding the volume of a cylinder. So, that was IXL 8T10, and then you had an exit slip with 3 questions on it. So, that was due last Friday. This week, this is what we're looking at. So, this week, today, we'll kind of go over this week's assignments, examples, and notes. On Tuesday, I'll help you out with your practice problems. So that's what we'll be going over in class tomorrow on the Google Hangout. On Wednesday, remember that is an off day now. So that is a day that you all can have a break or a day to get caught up. It's up to you, depends on where you're at. So there won't be any hangouts that day. On Thursday, if you need some help with your IXLs, that's kind of what we'll focus on. And then on Friday, that is when your 2 assignments are due. And if there's anything else that you need help with. Now, if you need help with something that's not on the schedule, like let's say on Tuesday, you're on IXLs and you need some help, that's fine. Come on to the Google Hangout. I'll help you out with whatever you need. All right, so a summary of this week. So you're going to log into your Google Hangout daily for help or just check in. You will click this link right here to watch the video that you are watching right now, hopefully. You'll work on your practice problems, and then you'll take your exit slip. You'll click this link right here to take your exit slip. And then you'll complete IXL 8, 10, 11 to 80. So this week's graded assignments. This week's graded assignments are the exit slip and IXL 8, 10, 11 to 80. So they are due Friday. So all assignments are due on Friday. Is that the 17th? Yes, okay. So they are due Friday the 17th. All right. So let's jump in here and let's learn about finding the volume of a cone. So the volume of a cone is actually going to be quite similar to finding the volume of a cylinder. However, the volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder that has the same height and the same radius. The formula we would use is volume equals 1/3 the area of the base. That's what that big B means. It means the area of the base. And remember, the base on a cylinder or the base on a cone is a circle. So that means it's pi r squared because it's the area of a circle. So pi r squared. So the formula for the volume of a cone is 1/3 the base times the height. Another way you could write this, because this will definitely be easier if you're using a phone for your calculator, is you could say it's the volume of the area of the base times the height divided by 3. That might be easier for you to do in your phones. So since the base of a cone is a circle, the area of the base is found by using pi r squared. Okay, so we got our little cone here. And the base of that cone is a circle. Okay. And then we've got our height here. So we've got our height of that cone. When you're finding the area of the base, so the area of the base means the area of that circle. So that's when you would take pi times the radius squared, where pi is 3.14 and the radius, remember the radius is half the diameter. So it's half the distance across the circle. So the radius is going to be half the diameter. Okay? And you're going to square that number. All right, so let's look at an example of how cylinders and cones and how they're related. So if we're looking here, we've got the cylinder that has a volume of 120. So when it gives you the volume of a cylinder, how could you find the volume of a cone? Well, if we know that we can find the volume of a cylinder is equal to the area of the base, which is pi r squared, times the height. And then the volume of a cone is equal to 1/3 pi r squared, which is the area of the base, times the height. That means that if we already know the volume of the cylinder, then all you have to do is multiply it by 1/3. Is multiply that volume by 1/3. That's also the same as saying the volume of the cylinder divided by 3. That's the same thing. So either way that you want to do it, okay? So 1/3 of 120, or 120 divided by 3, is 40. Same thing over here. So they have the same radius and the same height again, meaning they have the same radius and the same height. Therefore, all I have to do, if I know the volume of that cylinder, is multiply it by 1/3 or divide it by 3. And that would give me the volume of the cone. All right? So to sum that up, a cone has 1/3 of the volume of a cylinder when the radius and the height are the same. Okay? So a cone has 1/3 of the volume of a cylinder when the radius and the height are the same. So meaning if you took the volume of that cylinder and you divided it into 3, one of those sections would have the same volume as the cone. All right, so here is a little video that I will recommend you watching. Let's watch it here together. If it'll let me watch it. It may not let me watch it during our little video here. So you can kind of watch that one on your own, okay? I highly recommend you watch this video because it's going to demonstrate that relationship for you and help you understand it, okay? All right, let's do some practice problems. So the volume of a cylinder is the area of the base times the height. So that's the volume of a cylinder. That's what we mastered last week. To find the volume of a cone, we need to multiply that by 1/3 or divide it by 3. So the volume is equal to pi r squared, because that's how you find the area of the base, because the base is a circle. And that's what that big B stands for. So that big B means the area of the base. And the base is a circle. So that big B is pi r squared times the height divided by 3. So the volume is equal to 3.14 times r squared. So that's the radius. They didn't give us the diameter. They gave us the radius. So that's 5 squared times the height, which is 12. Okay? So your formula is volume equals area of the base times the height divided by 3. You'd plug in your values, which we did right there, and you would get 314. These are inches, and we make these cubed. So 314 inches cubed. All right, let's take a look at a second example. We'll do green. Okay, so our formula. Our formula is volume equals the area of the base times the height divided by 3. Okay? And you have to make sure that you divide that entire numerator by 3. So the area of our base is a circle, is pi r squared. So volume is going to be equal to pi r squared times the height divided by 3. This time it gave us the diameter. We only need to know the radius, so that's only halfway across. So that means I divide my diameter by 2, and that will give me my radius of 11. So volume is equal to pi, which is 3.14, times 11 squared, times the height. And the height is right here, and that's 10. Divide all of that by 3. So there's you plugging in your values. So when we do that, we get that our volume is 1,266.46, repeating, centimeters cubed. Okay? Alrighty. Now what I want you to do is I want you to try one of them by yourself. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to try solving this one by yourself. Pause the video and then check your answer to see if you got it correct, okay? So go ahead and pause. All right, so hopefully you paused the video and you tried solving this one by yourself. So now I'm going to let you check to see if you got it correct. So let's set it up. Our formula is volume equals area of the base times the height divided by 3, where the area of the base is pi r squared because it's a circle. So our volume is equal to, now if we look over here at our base, our circle, we see that it gave us the diameter. We need the radius. So the radius is half the diameter. So our radius in this case would be 5.5. So volume is equal to pi r squared times the height divided by 3. So volume is equal to 3.14 times 5.5 squared times our height of 12 divided by 3. Okay? So when we plug all of that in, we get that our volume is equal to 379.9. It didn't give us any units, so we would just say units cubed. Okay? Alrighty. If you have any questions about that, make sure you are showing up for the Google Hangouts. I need you to show up for at least one Google Hangout during the week, if at all possible. You need to attend at least one Google Hangout. I know that they are more of help sessions because you are able to use this video, but I need you to check in with me and at least let me talk to you and see how you're doing at least one time this week, if at all possible, okay? So now what you'll do is you'll work on a couple practice problems. You can just, I would just select a few of these to try them out and then show up for the Google Hangout to get the answers or watch the recording that afternoon. So assignment number 1 is going to be your exit slip. So click this link to take your exit slip over finding the volume of cylinders. And then IXL 8T 11 to 80. Both of these are due on Friday, okay? So you have those 2 assignments, and then you need to check in with me during a Google Hangout if at all possible, okay? All right. I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope you're staying safe and healthy. I miss you so much. And if you need anything at all from me, please make sure you let me know, okay? Love you guys. Bye.